As part of this massive show, we are joined right now by the head football coach at UCLA in the back row. Jack Savage is feeling it. He's a Bruin. He is the head football coach at UCLA. He is now in his 6th season with the Bruins. Previously was the head coach at Oregon, the Philadelphia Eagles, the San Francisco 49ers. The Bruins are out quickly. They are ranked 24th in this week's AP poll. They are hosting North Carolina Central Saturday night, 5 p.m. Eastern. We are joined by Chip Kelly. Chip, it is great to have you back. What's going on? How are you?
I'm good, Romy. How are you? It's football time.
It is football time, Chip. It's great. Hey, let me rephrase that. I need to check in, Chip. You're 6 years in. You've won 14 of your last 18. You're off to a great start this year. How are you feeling about where the program is right now? And how about life overall? How are you feeling about that?
Well, we feel great about where the program is just because we have great kids here. It's a real special group. It's so much fun to coach them. They're prepared every day. They love playing football. They love practicing football. They love everything about football. So it makes our job very easy. So we're good. And how am I doing? As I tell people, the best part of football is football. And the fact that we get to play games now, there's not a better time of the year, so we're fired up.
I love that. The best part of football is football. We're joined by Chip Kelly. Chip, let's talk about some of the players you have. Why don't we start with the quarterback position where after having Dorian Thompson-Robinson, you've got not one, not two, but you've got 3 guys right now in junior Ethan Garbers, who started the opener, Dante Moore, who looked great against San Diego State, and then you got Kent State transfer Colin Schlieff, some action last week as well. Hey, Chip, if the old saying is, if you have 2 quarterbacks, you really don't have one, what do you have if you have 3?
A good situation.
Right.
We got all 3 of them can play. All 3 of them are talented. The amazing thing is all 3 of them really, truly want the other one to be successful. So they've made it really a cool dynamic. It really speaks to their character of all 3 of those guys. And we feel confident that if any of the 3 were leading us in any game against anybody we play, that we'd be in a pretty good situation here offensively. So really excited about our future at the position and where our guys are. We got Colin some action last week against San Diego State. He was actually hurt at the beginning of camp, so didn't get the reps, that Ethan and Dante got, and kind of showed why he was the starter at Kent State. And then obviously, Ethan's played a lot of football for us and has been a really, really good player for us. And then Dante's played in the Coastal game in Game 1 and then played a lot more in Game 2 against San Diego State, and he's a real special talent. So we feel good about all 3 of those guys.
Chip Kelly joining us. You beat me to it. I was going to ask you about Dante and use the word that I was going to use myself because for those who do not know, several recruiting services consider Dante to be the highest rated recruit in Bruins history. Obviously, you want to keep that hype machine in check, but is there any doubt he's sort of a different guy, right? Any doubt that that's a special player right there?
No. And I think a lot of it is he obviously has a physical skill set in terms of his ability to throw the football, but his mental makeup, I really think is what kind of sets him apart from some other people. He has the physical tools, obviously, but he's really mature for his age. He came here right out of high school and was enrolled here in January, and it feels like he's been here for 4 years. There's just a maturity to the young man. He's an unbelievable leader. The players get along with him fantastic. He's got all the makeups of what the special ones have.
UCLA head football coach Chip Kelly joins us once again. Chip, what about the running game? Despite All-American running back Zach Charbonnet moving on to Seattle, the Seahawks, you still hammer the Aztecs on the ground to the tune of 254 rushing yards. Listen, that's against a well-respected run defense, too. What have your running backs, led by T.J. Harden, shown you in the first 2 games?
Yeah, I think it's similar to the quarterback position, as I feel like we have a couple, and that's a good thing. So we've got Carson Steele, who's a transfer from Ball State, who's a real talented player and was a 1,500-yard rusher last year in the MAC and has started off and played really well in our first 2 games. T.J. Harden, who's a sophomore for us, who really came out at the end of last year, played outstanding in our bowl game. And then TJ's played really well in our first two games. And then two other players that have played well in the last game against San Diego State, Colson Yankoff, who's a converted quarterback, and then Anthony Atkins, who's a 245-pound transfer from Army, played really well for us in our last game. So we feel like we've got a little bit of depth there, and we'll continue to develop that as the season moves on.
Yep. So, Chip, let me ask you about the other side of the ball. Defensive end, Latu has been a terror, man. This guy, he just seems unblockable at times. He has been a terror. He leads the nation in sacks. He's second in the country for tackles for loss. You've been around a lot of great pure pass rushers in your day. Where does he rank among the best you've coached?
Yeah, Latu's right up there. He's got a unique skill set. He's legit size. He's all of 6'5". He's close to 270 pounds, but he's a national rugby player, so he's been on his feet a ton in tackling situations for most of his life, and I think that shows the way he plays because he's so athletic for a defensive end / outside linebacker, and can do so many different things, and is really flexible and can move. He's got a knack for getting to the quarterback. You know, last year was year one with him. He was coming off an injury. And he really flashed last year, was double-digit sack guy. But I think now with a full spring underneath him, preseason camp, and he's kind of rolling right now as we're going into Game 3 here. But I think he's one of the premier rush guys in the country.
Chip Kelly breaking it down for us for a few more moments. So, Chip, NC Central to me is a really interesting matchup. Not only have they scored 77 points in their first two games this year, they are the last team to beat Deion and Shedeur Sanders. NC Central beat Jackson State last December in the Celebration Bowl before Deion moved on to Colorado. When you look at them on film, what do you see, and what are the biggest challenges they present to you?
They're a really good football team, and you're right. They did beat Deion Jackson State team last year, and they're really well coached. When the first thing you see on film is that they are disciplined in terms of how they're run defensively. They don't give you anything. You have to earn everything when you're playing these guys. When you're attacking them, and then I think their quarterback Davius Richard. He's an NFL prospect. He's a 6'3", 215-pound guy. His numbers are kind of off the charts at the FCS level in terms of what he's done. He's played so many games. He's thrown 55 touchdowns in his career, but he also can really run the ball. He's run for 1,500 yards in his career. So you're going to play against an NFL quarterback. And then anytime you are playing against a guy that's got that talent at the trigger spot, he makes all the players around him better. So this is a really good football team that we got rolling in here, and just watching the tape last year, just watch the tape of the Celebration Bowl. That'll get your attention that this is a good team.
It's a good opportunity. It's a good challenge. Chip, before you go, what about, and I know you're focused on your team, and I know you're focused on this matchup, but what about Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffaloes? They'll come to the Rose Bowl on October 28th. That'll be a big night. How impressed are you with what you've seen from the Buffs in the first 2 weeks of the year?
Oh, really impressed. Deion is a really good football coach. I think sometimes people get caught up in a lot of other things looking at them, but you put the tape on and look at their team, that's a really, really well-coached team. They compete. They don't make a lot of mistakes. They protect the football. They don't have a lot of penalties. If you just talk football coaching, I think he's done an outstanding job in the first two games that they played, and I think anybody who plays him this year better be ready to play against a really good football team because that's what he has right now. After what he did to TCU and what he did to Nebraska, that's a really good team and a really well-coached team. I think Deion's doing a heck of a job. Chip
Kelly joining us. Chip, one last thought. So you're one of 8 teams. Eight teams ranked in the top 25 in the Pac-12, and I mean, that's only been done once before. Well, it's been done before, but by only one conference, the SEC. Is this the deepest league that you've ever been associated with? And it is going to be the last year of the Pac-12, but has it ever been deeper?
No, I've been in it for a little bit here. I can't recall, this amount of depth from top to bottom. And there's other teams that Arizona's a really good team, and they're not in that 8. There's some, Cal has played well, played Auburn really, really close this past weekend and lost, I think, by 4, to get against Auburn. So there's there's depth in this league, and it's sad, that this is the last year of the league because there's been so many good players and so much history and tradition. But try to look at the positive, and the positive is that there's some really good players in this league and really good coaches in this league. And if it is the last year, it may be the best year. So we'll try to hold up our end of the bargain, but it's going to be a challenge playing in this league. We all get into conference play next week.
It is all kind of surreal, right? The best thing, though, about football is football. UCLA, that's it. UCLA is ranked number 24. They got a big one coming up. They've got North Carolina Central Saturday night. Chip, appreciate you. Great to have you on the show. You sound great. Good luck this weekend, and always good to have you on, Chip. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Romy. Anytime, buddy.
My man, Chip Kelly. Chip sounds great. 6 years in. He is 14-4 in his last 18. And he said off the top, the thing about this team is he loves these guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And hit the bell to be the first to know when we do upload a new video.